The following is a presentation of 912 Sports. Welcome to On Air with 912 Sports, your number one source for high school sports. With Sean Smoke, Kevin Price, and Robbie Ross. On Air with 912 Sports is brought to you by Coastal Pines Technical College. Go Coastal. Prime South Bank. Find your prime. Robbie Robertson Ford, because Fords are cheaper in the swamp. Gibson Animal Clinic, practical solutions with limited fees. Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, the region's best orthopedic care. And Kim Smoke, licensed realtor with eXp Realty.
High schoolers, did you know that you can get a head start on your college career and save money at the same time through dual enrollment at Coastal Pines Technical College? Dual enrollment is open to high school juniors and seniors, tuition free. Talk to your high school counselor or visit coastalpines.edu for more information. Coastal Pines Technical College, an equal opportunity institution. Go Coastal.
It makes sense Prime South Bank would have a great mobile app. Nobody is as mobile as our customers. For a century, they've chased dreams, followed their hearts, took the road less taken, made a new path, taken leaps of faith. At Prime South, offering the latest digital banking, secure pay apps, and new online lending is part of a mobile tradition that goes way back. Life is mobile. So is Prime South. Find your Prime. Member FDIC.
Play it loud and rev it up. Robbie Robertson's got trucks built for tough.
Make your way to Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, where the deals are bigger than ever. Looking for a stylish midsize car, a spacious SUV, or a truck that performs at work and play? Robbie Robertson wants your vehicle and is paying top dollar. Now is the time to buy. Fords are cheaper in the swamp.
Welcome, sports fans, and thanks for watching On Air with 912 Sports. I'm Sean Smoke, publisher of 912 Sports, joined as always by head writer and podcast host Kevin Price. Kevin, how you doing this evening?
Good to be here with you, Sean. I'm doing good. Good to be talking high school sports as we starting to wind up the postseason now in most of our sports, and before long, we'll be into the summertime stuff. But a lot more to get to here this spring, so let's dive on in.
Exactly. Well, Kevin, we're coming off a really successful show from last Thursday night. We did our 2023 All Sports Player of the Year award show, and man, what a huge hit. You did a great job. Jeff did a great job. Robbie did a great job. Made a lot of kids happy. Got a lot of, publicity with those guys retweeting and tweeting and posting on, social media. So congratulations to all the winners. We really had a lot of fun putting that show together. And, it was trying at times. You got to make a choice at some point. And, we felt like we did the right thing with all the choices that we made. But fantastic show, and I appreciate everybody's support for it for sure.
Yeah, no question. I mean, our team almost had to do good. I mean, we had to live up to the performances of all our kids. And like you say, there were some cases where we had some really tough decisions, but you really couldn't go wrong because they were all good choices. But we tried to make the best choice and had a lot of input from other people on those in particular. But then some of the choices were real easy, and that's just because some of these kids are just that doggone good. I won't really name anybody to, put anybody, out there or anything, but some of these kids were just absolute no-brainers, whether they're region champions or state champions or, the MVP of a region championship team or something like that. But yeah, a lot of good athletes here in Southeast Georgia. I know a lot of times, we like to say that the GHSA and some of the statewide media tends to, look above Macon and elsewhere for some of their honors, and that's one of the reasons, I guess, maybe that we choose to do our own thing. But I think that obviously the state can't ignore some of these kids with some of the jobs they did, and a lot of these kids were on all state teams and whatnot too. So just a real fun show. I mean, I think we had a lot of fun doing it, a lot of fun putting it together, and hopefully, if somebody hasn't watched it, they can still go back and watch it. And I think we know, Sean, what kind of captures the audience in terms of social media. We saw some of the same graphics, that they posted. So we kind of know, what we need to put on the show to make it easy for them to post that stuff on social media. So kind of a learning tool for us there as well.
Yeah, we appreciate everybody sharing that stuff. And Kevin's right. If you didn't get a chance to see it live, you can go back to 912sports.net and watch it. It's posted there. It's on demand. So whenever you want to watch it, just go there to the website. It's right there on the homepage. Click it, and you can see it all right there. Or you can go to our YouTube page, either one. But the website's probably the easiest way to do it. Click on it and watch the show at your leisure. And like I said, you can see all the award winners from this past 2023 season. So, again, congratulations to all the winners. But, Kevin, you mentioned at the top of the show, we're kind of wrapping up some things. We are all the way through with soccer. Soccer finals are being played this week. Unfortunately, the 912 did not have anybody go into the finals, but we did, Kevin, have two teams playing in the Final Four. So we do want to give a shout out, one to the Pierce County Bears boys team. They made it all the way to the Final Four, but went down to defeat. And then also the MCA girls team, the Buccaneers down there in Darien, they made it all the way to the Final Four, but that was as far as they went. So congratulations to both of those teams.
Yeah, both of those schools play good football. That's FOOTBALL. And, of course, soccer in other parts of the world is called football, and you just spell it different. But, good to see Southeast Georgia represented deep into the brackets, had some Elite Eight teams as well. A lot of teams made it to the second round. And, so Pierce to be commended for a great job. And also McIntosh, we've talked about it before, but that's a relatively young program. And I know it may be slightly easier to climb through the ranks in single A than maybe it is in some of the higher classifications where there's soccer meccas out there, particularly in 6 and 7A. But, this is a great program. It's off to a good start. Of course, the Maddie McMahon girl for them is a star player here in Southeast Georgia. She was one of our award winners last week and set school records there at McIntosh, and also set a record for letters. She's not just a soccer player, and we'll leave it right there. But we will have her featured in our next issue, which is the May issue. So about to hit the newsstands as we speak for 912 Sports Magazine. So check her out. Obviously, a great story on her, not because I wrote it, but just what all she's done in high school in multiple sports as she leaves and gets ready to move on to college.
Yeah, quite the accomplishment for Maddie there. Check that out. That book will be out next week. That is our May, June issue. And then, Kevin, right around the corner after that, buddy, we'll be into football weather football preview issue. Hard to believe, but we'll be right back at it. So, as a matter of fact, some schools started football this week for spring practice, and we'll probably have an update on that next week on the show. So tune in for that. But, Kevin, speaking of football, had a really big night this past Thursday night. Some kids that grew up here, went to high school here, had great college careers, were sitting there with bated breath waiting for that phone to ring this weekend to find out where they were going to go play in the NFL. We had a couple big names, guys that's been on our cover before, got the phone call and are going to play in the NFL.
Yeah, kind of funny how that works, right, Sean? I mean, these guys were stars in the high school ranks, and, they've certainly continued to be stars all the way up through college, and now they're getting ready to go to the pro level. And obviously, Stetson Bennett, probably the biggest name out there in terms of the 912 kids that, people would know about. And he certainly made headlines in more ways than one with the Georgia Bulldogs, but certainly maybe the all-time best quarterback there at the University of Georgia because he won back-to-back national championships and won two, regardless of whether they were back-to-back. But, he's going to the L.A. Rams. I guess he was a fourth-round pick. I think, 128. You said you had that memorized because you saw it all over social media. But I'll let you talk about him because you actually met him, a little younger in his career than I did. my first introduction to him was actually playing baseball, as far as seeing him play live. And he played in a series I covered against Greater Atlanta Christian for a buddy of mine for the Gwinnett paper up there. And I knew that he was obviously a good football player, well before then. But I saw all the physical tools, there on the baseball field, as far as, hitting and throwing and running. And, of course, he did all that at Pearson, football as far as, throwing and running with that football, and certainly did a great job at the University of Georgia. And Sean, he's going out to play for the LA Rams. So kind of only makes sense that the Hollywood movie might follow sometime soon. What do you think?
Exactly. The feature movie's got to be coming at some point, Kevin, because here's a kid that, was doubted his whole career, was doubted at, at high school level, said he was too small, said he shouldn't be the quarterback. Matter of fact, had a battle with a quarterback there for his high school starting job. Then goes to Georgia as a walk-on, and has to leave Georgia, comes back to Georgia, and then of course the rest is history there. And then everybody said, "Oh well, he was a great college quarterback, but he'll never get drafted. And if he does, it'll be he'll just have to sign at the end as a free agent and all that." Well, here the Rams are snapping him up in the 4th round. But you talked about it, Kevin. Yeah, I met Stetson for the first time when he played for the Brantley Bandits. That tells you how far back I go. That was when my kid was playing, not even, it was, travel ball stuff. And his dad had a team down there that they played with. So that was the first thing. And so I kind of followed, Stetson all the way through his career. But like I said, here's a guy that, has been doubted since his days in high school. But all he's done is prove people wrong time and time again. So good day for Stetson there, going forth at 128. So congratulations. Good, gets him out there with another Georgia guy, and Matthew Stafford gets in that quarterback room, gets a chance to learn, doesn't have to get thrown to the wolves, so to speak, like a lot of these guys are going to have to do. They're going to be expected to play day one. I don't think that's going to be what Stetson is. Now, something happens to Matthew, that's a different situation. But if he stays there, then maybe he gets to sit for a couple years and learn before he takes over that starting role.
Yeah, another thing I was going to say, I don't really know that this meant a hill of beans, but sometimes, when you got to look at the connections. And Sean McVay, the coach out there for the Rams, is a Georgia guy, Peach State guy.
Yep.
Let me say it like that, not a UGA guy. But obviously he played at Marist under the great Alan Chadwick, one of the best all-time coaches in the state of Georgia. When you look at his record and you look at the state championships, a number of playoff appearances Marist has made, I believe McVay won a state championship, at least one, with him as their quarterback. But so there you go. You got a head coach that's got ties to Georgia high school football. So and he probably knows South Georgia kids are, kind of known to be tough and all that kind of thing. And certainly Stetson's different in being a quarterback, but he's a tough kid who's overcome a lot, obviously. And then, he's obviously familiar with the University of Georgia and what they run. So they, just some comfort zone there, I think, with the Rams maybe to take Stetson when they still had, a couple of other quarterbacks they could have taken, right there in that, area of the draft. But he was on their radar screen. They've admitted that, and they went ahead and got him before somebody else could get him as the run on those other 3 quarterbacks kind of began right after them.
Exactly. Well, Kevin had another guy right there in your backyard. Warren McClendon played on he's a 2-time national champion playing for the Georgia Bulldogs, and he also gets drafted by the LA Rams, which I believe it was late 5th round is when Warren went. So now not only does Stetson, have the connections out there, but now he's got a guy here from Southeast Georgia coming with him to the Rams, in the draft as well.
Yeah, and there again, if they need somebody to play offensive line in the movie, Warren should be out there. It should be easy to maybe get him to play a cameo role and maybe teach the other linemen what they need to do in terms of, whatever they show with Stetson's career there at UGA. Right. I think they both could probably play at least, some of their own parts in that movie. But, Warren obviously is a soft-spoken kid, but, he's and just kind of a mellow yes or no sir guy. Been a great kid from a great family. In case somebody doesn't know it, he's from great bloodlines. He's from that McClendon gene pool. And, of course, Willie McClendon, his uncle, one of the great all-time running backs there at the University of Georgia. And, he had a chance to either go to South Carolina, where Brian McClendon was coaching at the time, or go to Georgia. And he just felt the pull to Georgia. And, of course, Brian McClendon ends up, there on Coach Kirby Smart's staff, the last couple of years and wins some national championships as well. So they, got to do that together as it all turned out. But, Warren, he's obviously I was told from his uncle himself that he had, all the fundamentals just real sound as an offensive lineman coming out of high school. And obviously, he made his mark right there at the UGA and moved into the starting lineup pretty quick and started, a lot of games in a row before getting hurt, right there at the end of, this last year, and then did get back in time to play a pretty significant role in the national championship game. But also, I do know that from talking with Coach Grady at BHS, back in the fall when we were doing our podcast, that even as far back as then, the Rams were already doing their homework on Warren. I think they had sent, one of their lead scouts or somebody pretty high up in their front office to come talk to the hometown folks, the high school folks, his parents, other folks in the community. And, of course, with Warren, they all got the same thing, that basically he's a yes sir, no sir guy, straight up guy. So if you're going to invest some money in somebody, Warren McClendon is not a bad guy to invest your money in. And I look for him to just continue to blossom right there under Coach McVay and in that Rams offense.
Exactly. And then another UGA kid, Jack, right there from Brunswick, played over on the other side of the street there, played for Glenn Academy, Jack Podlesny. He gets to sign a free agent contract with the Vikings, so he'll be going up there to be a Viking.
Yeah, Sean, and it's weird with kickers, a game can come down to, whether or not they can put it between the uprights in big games and championships. And, obviously, Jack's a guy that, certainly made his mark, left his mark at UGA, one of the great all-time kickers, and goes there as a walk-on. And like a lot of kickers, ends up getting a scholarship. And then it was sort of the same way at talking to people, his high school coaches and his dad, Ike, and, just some other people, that it was a question mark as whether or not he would get drafted. And that's nothing against his talent or the kind of kid he is. I mean, obviously, he's a lot like Warren McClendon, a yes or no sir guy. But it's just the way it is with kickers, kind of like not giving them scholarships. They don't necessarily get drafted, but it was pretty well automatic that, if he didn't get drafted, he was going to sign a free agent contract soon after the draft. And I haven't talked to his dad, but I did text his dad, and I asked him how quickly that happened, and he basically just said pretty quick. So I would venture to guess within an hour of that last pick, they were on the phone and they had Jack all signed up and ready to go. And where that money figure comes from, I'm not real familiar with that. Again, it could just be that's the going price for a free agent kicker. And from there, he'll earn his money. I would expect that he'll land with the Vikings, or if they decide that, his services aren't wanted there, somebody will pick him up before, preseason camp begins, and he'll go into their pool, and he'll be there kicking in the NFL. I'm quite sure.
Yeah, he'll get a shot, that's for sure. But that's three guys from the 912 that signed over the weekend to play in the NFL. So congratulations to all those guys. We'll follow along with with those guys, and it's going to be hard to try to pick an NFL team. Kevin, do we go with the Georgia Eagles at Philadelphia, or do we go with Southeast Georgia at LA with all the 912 dogs that are out there in LA? Because you've got Stetson Bennett, you got Ernest Jones, you got Warren McClendon, you got Richard LeCount. All four of those guys were part of our 912 magazines over the last years, and all four of those guys are now LA Rams. So going to have to pick and choose a team there, which way we go on that NFL team.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, sometimes it's kind of hard to be a Jags and a Falcons fan. So, not necessarily hard to adopt the Rams or the Eagles. And, I guess if you're going to jump on a bandwagon, the Eagles certainly, is a good one to jump on. I mean, I was torn in that Super Bowl last year between, the Eagles and Kansas City. Of course, the Eagles also have Darius Slay, another Brunswick High School guy, big play Slay, and he's going to be back again this year in that defensive backfield. So, I wanted him to do good, but I do like Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. So I just wanted to settle in for a good game, to be honest with you. And I knew some guys that I would like either way, would win that game. But I guess now it's maybe a little more cemented that I probably need to root on Philly if that matchup comes around again next time. And I did root on the Rams when Matthew Stafford won a Super Bowl with them. So with Warren and Stet there, won't be hard to root on them. And, of course, Ernest Jones, part of that team as well, along with Richard LeCow. So, again, two good teams for us to adopt, I guess.
Exactly. Well, that's going to wrap up this segment. Hey, but don't go anywhere. We got a baseball preview. We still got a few teams playing here in the 912, and we'll get to that right after these messages. You're watching On Air with 912 Sports.
At Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, you don't have to be an athlete to get the region's best orthopedic care. Our board-certified orthopedic surgeons and physicians treat injuries and conditions that affect just about any joint or bone in your body. Plus, we're backed by the support of Southeast Georgia Health System. From fracture repair to joint replacement, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery will get you moving again. Call 1-855-ASK-SGHS. That's 1-855-275-7447 or visit sghs.org/summit.
Gibson Animal Clinic is ready to help with your animals. From cats to dogs to horses, we treat them all. Call on us for grooming, bathing, boarding, and more serious things like surgery, dentistry, spay, neuter, immunizations, heartworm prevention, flea control, complete lab testing, radiology, preventive health care. Call us at 285-7678. Open Saturdays for your convenience. Gibson Animal Clinic. Practical solutions with reasonable fees. Russell J. Gibson, DVM.
Gibson Animal Clinic, 108 Riverside Drive, Waycross.
Hablamos español en nuestra clínica.
Welcome back, sports fans. I'm Sean Smoke. He's Kevin Price. And we're still tournament time for state playoffs here for baseball. So let's dive right into it, Kevin. We have two teams that are playing in Single A Division II, which is the smallest classification. Charlton County is still alive, and McIntosh County Academy. McIntosh County Academy is going to play Seminole County today and tomorrow if game is needed. And Charlton County, McIntosh is actually going to be on the road. Charlton is going to host Jenkins County, not to be confused with Jenkins of Savannah, Jenkins County in Folkestone, and those games will also be Thursday and Friday of this week. So, listen, our small school player of the year, Cole Crawford, he's part of this Charlton County Indian team. Last guy on the magazine cover, Ian, help me out here, Kevin. Ian Vickers. He was our cover guy for. I couldn't think of his last name. I wanted to call him something else, and I knew that wasn't right. But Ian Vickers, he was on the cover, and Gant Geiger's another kid that's. Listen, this Charlton team's loaded with superstars. Don't be surprised if they're still playing in the final round, just like they were last year.
Yeah, well, I think we knew Charlton would make it at least this far and probably longer. But they've got the Vickers kid. They've got two great pitchers that they can rely on. So they certainly have two guys that are going to be tough to beat, and the Crawford kid, has been a guy that supplied offense for them. They lost a lot of firepower offensively from that team a year ago, and that was the question mark. Going into the season, even with those two stud pitchers, can they score enough runs to keep from losing 2-1 and 3-2 and things like that? So I think with that pitching, though, Charlton's probably as good as anybody still out there in the Single A ranks. So, hopefully they can win this one and keep moving on. And it's great to see this McIntosh County Academy team, win that opening round series and move on to the next round. This Seminole team, I think that they're playing is pretty good, but the winner would meet the winner of Georgia Military or Bowden. And both of those, I think Georgia Military 17-10 and Bowden's 20-10. So hopefully McIntosh can get there and take a shot at one of those two guys in the next round as well.
Exactly. We'll move on now to Single A Division I, which is the larger of the Single A. The only school that we have left is Bacon County. Bacon County beat Dublin in round one and are playing today. They're going to be playing Heard County, and I believe Bacon is actually on the road for this series as well. So we'll see if Bacon can keep things alive there with the Red Raiders having to go on the road to play Heard County. If they can, then they'll advance to play the winner of Darlington and Whitfield Academy. So we'll see what the Red Raiders could do. But Kevin, really the big classification that we've got that's just about almost everybody's still alive. We have four teams that are still playing for this deal. We've got Jeff Davis, Brantley County, Appleton County. I'm sorry. And Toombs got beat. Toombs was alive, but Toombs got beat. So we still got 3 teams alive in this deal. We do have these games. Brantley is going to play, and Jeff Davis is going to play Mount Perrin. Brantley's going to play Fellowship Christian. These games, Kevin, I believe, are going to be Friday and Monday. Don't know what's going on at GHSA with Saturday, Monday. Saturday, Monday. I don't know what's going on with GHSA with Saturday, Monday series. But both of those series, and then you've got Appleton County is going to play Redan, and that's also a Saturday, Monday series. So, again, these guys are all in the Elite Eight, so we'll see what happens there. But, 3 very, very good, talented baseball teams. Toombs County gave Jeff Davis a tough run, but Jeff Davis was able to get past him. Jeff Davis defending state champs. Brantley County really, really good this year for people that hadn't seen them play. And then, of course, Appleton's really good as well. Seeing those guys play up close and personal. So would not surprise me, Kevin, if we have 3 teams out of that region in the Final Four.
Yeah, me either. Of course, these are going to be tough matchups. When you look at this deal, of course, Brantley and Appling both out of the same region. Appling, the Region 3 champion. Then Brantley, of course, the number 2 seed. But they're, Appling, though, is playing a team, Redan, and they are, I think, 20-10. The thing that scares me about Appling is they do have to go on the road.
Yeah, they lost that coin flip.
Right, that scares me a little bit there. That was an automatic deal with like seeds, being in the same spot in the bracket. Then that was a universal coin flip, and Appling's on the other side of the bracket. But when you look at the other 2 teams, Jeff Davis and Brantley, both playing teams out of the same region. Of course, Brantley and Jeff Davis aren't in the same region, but Redan, Mount Perrin, the team that Jeff Davis is playing, is the number 1 team out of their region, and also Fellowship Christian. Fellowship Christian is the number 1 team out of that region, Region 6, and then Mount Perrin, the number 2 team in that region. But Mount Perrin 26-4, Fellowship Christian 27-4. And both of these teams are, highly ranked as well. So those are going to be tough matchups. But obviously, we've talked about it before. Jeff Davis is not a team you want to see in your bracket because they are a perennial power. They know how to win, and that means a lot to those guys as well. But those are going to be two great matchups. And then throw in Appling as well. Again, the only thing that concerns me is they do have to go on the road to play a like seed, a region champion. So we'll see if they can get it done and march on too.
Exactly, but that'll be the region to watch here in the 912, or the classification to watch here in the 912. 3A Long County went down in the first round. They wound up losing to Harlem. Harlem's a very good team. Matter of fact, in our division, Ware County beat Greenbrier 1 time, and Harlem beat Greenbrier 3 times. and Harlem's a 3 classification, and Greenbrier's a 5. So that's a pretty good team that Long lost to. But moving on to 4A, Kevin, we do have Wayne County still alive. Wayne County was able to defeat Perry. Now they're going to go on to play Lovett. Unfortunately, they are going to have to go on the road. And again, Kevin, thanks to the GHSA, this is another one of those Saturday, Monday series that everybody's having to play this year for whatever reason. But good luck to Wayne County. We'll keep an eye on them. Hopefully, we can see what Justin McDonald can do. Those guys, Kevin, perennial powers in 4A, and it wouldn't surprise me if they're not right back at home here in the next round or continue to play in the next round for sure.
Yeah, one note about that, series they just finished. I think they played 1 game, over the weekend and lost that game.
Right.
Then I guess rain hit or whatnot, and then they had to play 2 games Monday of this week, and won both of those games 9-2 and 12-2 to advance. So their backs were against the wall. They had to sit around all weekend and wait till Monday after school to play those 2 games. Might have been a little harder for Perry to wait, being they were the road team in that. So maybe that favored Wayne, but Wayne's always tough at home, as we know. And then they'll play this Lovett team. Lovett's always good if you know Georgia high school baseball, and I think they went 3 games in their previous series as well. So that's going to be a great matchup, and two great teams that are used to winning going at it. So should be interesting. Wouldn't surprise me if it's another 3-game series.
Exactly. Well, moving on up to 5A, all three of our teams that were represented in 5A, Statesboro, Ware, and Coffee, all lost in the first round, all lost to the same region. That's a very, very tough region. Statesboro lost to Locust Grove, who was the 1 seed. Coffee lost to Union Grove, who was the 3 seed, and Ware lost to Ola, who was the 2 seed. So very good baseball being played up there. I think that is region 2. I believe is what that region is, but really good baseball playing up there. So 5A is done for the year. Moving on up to 6A, we had Brunswick and South Effingham lost in the first round. Kevin, you guys carried all the Brunswick game, and when they lost to Houston County, who's perennial number 1 in the state right now. And then you've got Glenn, who won their first round series. Glenn beat Lee County, and then went on to play Woodward Academy over the weekend and wound up losing to the War Eagles up there at Woodward this past weekend.
Yeah, when you look at Brunswick, I mean, just the toughest matchup of all, for our 6A teams, taking on Houston County at their place. Houston, ranked number 1 in the state, one of the contenders for the state championship. And, they got beat in 2 games, and Houston was as good as advertised. I think Brunswick might have been a little nervous to start off that first game, and didn't really give themselves the best of chance. And then Grant Moore, pitched good in defeat for the Pirates, one of their young players that, they're going to build around in the future. So from what I understand, he may have gotten a look from a serious college or 2 in that series. So, again, paid benefits, if that is true, for the Pirates to be there on that stage. They were there, I think, looking at some of the Houston County players, and some of the Brunswick players may have benefited from that. But when you look at Glenn, Sean, I mean, yes, they won in the first round against Lee County, being at home, went on. And, the thing about that Woodward series last weekend, it was a winnable series. I was there to, broadcast the games with Coach Fair for Golden Isles baseball, and 2 evenly matched teams on paper, and it looked about like it was on the field. Glenn lost the first game 8-7, even though they out-hit Woodward Academy. Both teams hit 2 home runs. Woodward scored 4 runs on their 2 home runs. Glenn Academy scored 3, so that is a 1-run difference right there. And then Glenn had a costly error early in the ball game when Woodward put 3 runs on the board to kind of kept that in alive for them. And so that's something you can't take away, but Glenn put themselves kind of behind the 8 ball there. And then in the second game, it was kind of like Coach Fair described it. Glenn hit a lot of atom balls, like right at them. And I know one time early in the ball game, they already were down 3-0, and they left the bases loaded. I can't remember if they loaded them with no outs or 1 out, but one of their top hitters hit a line drive, smoked it right at the third baseman, actually a little bit above his head, had to go up to catch it, and they were able to double the runner off a second who was looking to score on a base hit. You can kind of see the air go out of the balloon a little bit at that point, and Glenn fell behind 4-0 and got it back within 4-2, but just couldn't ever get over the hump in that second game, and ended up losing 6-2. But, it was a winnable series. Like I say, it's not like Glenn faced a dominant pitcher or anything like that, was able to shut them down. So that's what's disappointing about that. But a good season nonetheless for both the Red Terriers and Brunswick.
Yeah, and that series might have been different, Kevin, had it been played in the Wayno, because you guys were playing in a cracker box with 360 at dead center field and 300 feet down the line. I mean, dude, that's middle school, dimensions. And that's like I said, but I mean, I know both teams played on the same field, but again, if you're in the Wayno, those 4 runs that they got off home runs probably don't happen for them. So you never know what could have happened, but that wasn't a coin flip. Glenn was the 2, Woodward was the 1, and they deserved to play at home. So it is one of those things. But listen, nonetheless, a great season for Glenn, and hopefully we'll be back with those guys next year right here on 912sports.net. So, but that moves us on to 7A, Kevin. 7A, we only had the 1 team, and that was Richmond Hill. Richmond Hill did win their first series. They beat Campbell in 2 games, and then went on the road to Parkview over the weekend. Didn't fare so well up there at Parkview, another Georgia powerhouse baseball program. I mean, a lot of people may remember that's where Frenchie came from, Jeff Francoeur. These guys have been good for a long time, and evidently they got a pretty solid team this year.
Yeah, again, Parkview's always good, and going into the Big Orange Jungle is never easy, whether, back in the day when it was football and baseball is still that way. And they play in a small park too, but that's a side story. But a good season for Richmond Hill, back up in up in 7A.
Yes, first year coach
for the first year with a new coach. I saw them against Brunswick, I think it was, and felt like they had some good pitching again. Might be a little suspect offensively, but had another great season for them. They're one of the top teams perennially down here in Southeast Georgia, and good to see them go up there in 7A and make some noise and get to the second round, and we'll just see if they can build and move on from there.
Exactly. Oh, we'll keep our eye on that 2A bracket, keep our eye on that 4A bracket, as they all are still alive, still playing for a chance to play for a state title. So we'll keep you up to date on that. But, hey, stick around. We got more On Air with 912 Sports right after these messages.
High schoolers, did you know that you can get a head start on your college career and save money at the same time through dual enrollment at Coastal Pines Technical College? Dual enrollment is open to high school juniors and seniors, tuition free. Talk to your high school counselor or visit coastalpines.edu for more information. Coastal Pines Technical College, an equal opportunity institution. Go Coastal!
At Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, you don't have to be an athlete to get the region's best orthopedic care. Our board-certified orthopedic surgeons and physicians treat injuries and conditions that affect just about any joint or bone in your body. Plus, we're backed by the support of Southeast Georgia Health System. From fracture repair to joint replacement, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery will get you moving again. Call 1-855-ASK-SGHS. That's 1-855-275-7447 or visit sghs.org/summit.
It makes sense Prime South Bank would have a great mobile app. Nobody is as mobile as our customers. For a century, they've chased dreams, followed their hearts, took the road less taken, made a new path, taken leaps of faith. At Prime South, offering the latest digital banking, secure pay apps, and new online lending is part of a mobile tradition that goes way back. Life is mobile. So is Prime South. Find your Prime. Member FDIC.
Welcome, sports fans, and thanks for watching On Air with 912 Sports. I'm Sean Smoke, publisher of 912 Sports, and we're going to do a little tennis report here for teams in the 912. We'll start off with boys tennis. We'll go right down to the smaller divisions. We'll go down to Class A Division II. Charlton County lost in the Elite Eight to Lake Oconee Academy, so that's going to wrap up their season there for the Indians down in Folkestone. Going on up to Division II. In the Elite Eight, Bacon lost to Mount Vernon earlier this week, so that's going to end the season for the Red Raiders. And then we move on to Double A. Double A in the Elite Eight, we had actually 4 teams play in the Elite Eight there from the 912 area code. Applin lost to Modell. Pierce lost to Fellowship Christian, and Jeff Davis lost to Mount Perrin. But the Brantley County Herons, folks, are still alive. They beat Athens Academy earlier this week. I believe that match was on Monday, and they're going to play Mount Perrin now in the Final Four on Monday the 8th. So mark your calendars there for the Brantley County Heron fans. Congratulations to the boys still alive there in Double-A tennis. But no teams in 3A, no teams in 4A. 5A, we had Coffee County, who lost to McIntosh in the Sweet 16, and Statesboro. The Blue Devils made it all the way to the Elite Eight. So congratulations to Statesboro, but they wound up losing to Chattahoochee. Moving on up to 6A. In 6A, in the Sweet 16, we had Effingham, who lost to Marist, and we had Glenn Academy, who lost to North Atlanta. And then on up to 7A, which is the highest classification here in Georgia. In the Sweet 16, Richmond Hill lost to Harrison. And then in the Elite Eight, Camden made it all the way to the Elite Eight, but they finally wound up losing to West Forsyth. So getting back to tennis now, we've got in the boys section, we've only got one team left. That's the Brantley County Herons. So congratulations. Those guys, will be playing Mount Perrin on Monday the 8th. So check it out if you get a chance. So now we'll move on over to girls. In girls tennis down in Division II, Charlton County lost in the Sweet 16, wound up losing to ECI. In Division I, which is the larger of the single-A classifications, Bacon lost in the Elite Eight to Mount Perrin. And then going on to the Class 2, this is our best bracket by far. Right now, going into the Final Four, the 912 has 3 teams out of the Final Four, and the Final fourth team in that classification is Berrien County, so right here in South Georgia as well. So, but you got Jeff Davis is going to take on Brantley. That game is going to be at home for Jeff Davis. So the Yellow Jackets will hit the host the Herons. These games are actually scheduled for Monday the 8th. And then if you switch over to the other side of the bracket, the Pierce County Lady Bears are going to host Berrien. So Pierce County going to be at home on Monday the 8th as they trek on their way to try to win a state title. So listen, guys, 3 out of the 4 here are 912 teams, so got pretty good odds here. We know we're going to have somebody in the finals, and who knows, maybe we'll have a tennis champion here in 912. But moving on up, 3A no teams, 4A no teams. In 5A in girls, we had the Coffee County girls who lost in the Sweet 16 to Chamblee. We had the Statesboro girls who lost in the Sweet 16 to Decatur. And then Ware made it all the way to the Elite Eight. So congratulations to the Lady Gators. But they fall to Chattahoochee in the Elite Eight. On up to 6A, at Effingham lost in the Sweet 16 to Marist. And Glenn lost in the Sweet 16 to Woodward Academy. So Woodward Academy has been the demise of Glenn Academy in girls tennis and also in baseball this year. And then moving on up to 7A, we had our Camden County Wildcats made it to the Sweet 16, but they go down to defeat there in Brookwood. So again, in girls tennis, in 2A, we've got 3 teams still alive. Jeff Davis is going to host Brantley, and Pierce County is going to host Berrien. So if you get a chance on Monday, get out and check these girls out, and we'll see who can go on and move on and play for a state title. Again, we're assured that somebody from the 912 is going to play for a state title. But congratulations to all the teams, and we'll follow along and give you an update next week on who winds up where. So appreciate everybody watching. We'll be right back here with more On Air with 912 Sports right after these messages.
Play it loud and rev it up. Robbie Robertson's got trucks built for tough.
Make your way to Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, where the deals are bigger than ever. Looking for a stylish midsize car, a spacious SUV, or a truck that performs at work and play? Robbie Robertson wants your vehicle and is paying top dollar. Now is the time to buy. Fords are cheaper in the swamp.
Gibson Animal Clinic is ready to help with your animals. From cats to dogs to horses, we treat them all. Calling us for grooming, bathing, boarding, and more serious things like surgery, dentistry, spay, neuter, immunizations, heartworm prevention, flea control, complete lab testing, radiology, preventive health care. Call us at 285-7678. Open Saturdays for your convenience. Gibson Animal Clinic. Practical solutions with reasonable fees. Russell J. Gibson, DVM.
Gibson Animal Clinic, 108 Riverside Drive, Waycross.
Hablamos español en nuestra clínica.
This has been a presentation of 912 Sports.